What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement. We are back here in the basement. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, hit the bell notice, hit the like button, drop some comments in here. We're talking hockey season is back. The New York Rangers are back tomorrow night, October 11th, opening up in the Garden against none other than the Tampa Bay Lightning, who just lost, went to their third finals in a row. They just lost. They won back-to-back before that. This is not an easy task, but this is the way you open up a season. Open up a season. The defending Eastern Conference champion Tampa Bay Lightning against the runner-up New York Rangers. The New York Rangers are the next team up. The next team up, guys. That's what the New York Rangers are. The Lightning, I feel like the Lightning are going to become a little bit like the Penguins became. They may start dropping down a little bit and becoming a stepping stone so teams can come along and beat up on them and move on to the finals, man, saying, hey, we got past the Lightning. It's what happened with the Rangers with the Penguins. Come on now. The Rangers with the Penguins, isn't that what they did? Think about the core players from all their championship teams that they've had. Crosby's still there, Malkin's still there, Chris Letang still there, right? Are they as tough as they used to be? No, of course not, right? They won all those cups with Marc-Andre Fleury in net, which he has definitely moved on from there, going to the Knights and then to the Wild, Blackhawks and then the Wild. But anyway, it's not about him. It's not even about the Penguins. It's about the New York Rangers coming out this season strong as a heavy Stanley Cup finalist. Hopeful. Stanley Cup finalist hopeful, if that term even makes sense, but that's what we're looking at. This New York Rangers team is loaded. It is loaded, and it's loaded with the amount of young players that we have, along with the right veterans in place. Right veterans in place. Last year, just to recap, we'll go over this quickly, over the playoffs, they were down 3-1 to the Penguins with the Penguin fans chanting, Igor, Igor, Igor. Why were they doing that? Because he got pulled back-to-back games for getting blown out by the Penguins. Two horrendous games. He was the worst goalie during those two games. He was giving up goals after goals after goals. Now, him being Igor and him having the great coach in Gerard Gallant. What a hire by Chris Drury. Gerard Gallant, who coached the Florida Panthers, coached the Vegas Knights in their first season and took them all the way to the finals, and they lost to the Penguins in the finals. But he took them all the way there in their inaugural season, which in no sport, not in the Big Four anyway, basketball, hockey, football, baseball, no one in their inaugural season ever made a final. No one did. No one did. The Jacksonville Jaguars came closest. They made an AFC championship game, right? But that was in their second year. The New York Rangers came within 2 wins of the Stanley Cup last year. 2 wins. We started with the Penguins. We were down 3-1. Okay. Gallant, being the great coach he is, said, we're rolling with Igor. We're not going with Georgiev. We're not. We're down 3-1. We're not going with Georgiev. The greatest goalie in the game this season is Igor. He's who got us here. He's who we're going for. And that confidence he instilled in Igor Shesterkin paid off, man. He came back out. The Rangers set a record also. Coming back in game 5, down by 2 goals. Come back in game 6, down by 2 goals. Come back in game 7, repeatedly down by a goal. No one in the history of hockey has ever come back down 3-1 and been behind multiple goals in game 5, 6, and 7 and come back in all 3 and won them all. And who was in net? Igor Shesterkin. That's who was in net. This is how you build a champion. This is how you build confidence in a young goalie who was horrible in 2 of those games. Horrible, right? Remember game 1, he was great. He had 79 saves, but being New York teams, right, we lose anyway. They bring in Louis Domingue, who, by the way, is our 3rd-string goalie now, but the Penguins bring in Louis Domingue in the middle of an overtime. Guy was ice cold and shut the Rangers out. I believe it was 17 shots, 17 saves. And we ended up giving up 1. And Igor had 79 saves in that triple overtime game 1, opening 1 that was just out of this world. And somehow we lost that game. But anyway, we came back, knocked the Penguins off. The next series we went, it was against the Carolina Panthers. Woo, we're still in football season, right? Carolina Hurricanes. We went in against them. They had never lost at home in the playoffs. They're calling that place the House of Horrors. They were like undefeated at home. They were like 7-0. So what did the Rangers do? We beat them too. We took care of the Carolina Hurricanes in 7 games and beat them in their house a couple of times. We weren't worried about any House of Horrors, so we moved on from there. Then we get into the series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Boom, jump out 2-0. Jump out 2-0. Rangers got this, right? Then in game 3, we're up 2-0. And then it happened. What happened? Nothing happened. That's what happened. In the remaining games 4, 5, and 6, the Rangers scored a total of 3 goals. 3 goals. That's it. In the last 2, they were doing the rest of the time. They were chasing the game. They were chasing the Lightning around, chasing them around, chasing them around. You cannot give a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning an extra effort. You know, you can't give them an extra advantage. You can't give them an extra out, an extra attempt at winning a series. You can't do that. You had them on the ropes. You had them on the ropes. And then once they went up 2-0 in game 3, it's like they backed off. It's like a prevent defense. They were chasing the game after that. You can't chase around a team who's back-to-back champions. Stamkos, Hedman, Killorn, Kucherov. These guys have been Point, Braden Point. These guys have been around a long time. Of course, Vasilevsky. At that point, Vasilevsky, the last 5 years, the Lightning goalie, the last 5 seasons, he's the winningest goalie with back-to-back championships. Yes, we had the Vezina Trophy winner in Igor, 2.07 goals against average, 935 save percentage. We had the best goalie in the game for that season, but the past 5 years to that moment was Andrei Vasilevsky is the greatest goalie and future Hall of Famer in the game at that time. So you can't give these guys an extra period, an extra chance to win this freaking game. Jacob Trouba had a horrendous penalty that also gave the Lightning life in that series. And you know what? That didn't blow the whole series. It blew that game. It blew that moment. Listen, there's plenty of things we can blame on what happened in that series and why we didn't win. But the key is we had never expected to make it that far. No one had the Rangers being in the Final Four, the last 4. Everybody was laughing at them when they were down 3-1 to the Penguins in round 1, and everybody, including Ranger fans, expected them to see you later. Hey, we put up a little bit of a fight, right? But the Penguin fans, everybody, Igor came back and shut it down. Igor shut it down. We got the right people in place, guys. Now, from last year to this year, what do the Rangers have to do differently? There's been some changes coming into this season. Important pieces that we brought in are now gone. Kopp, Strome, Mott, Tyler Mott's gone, and Frank Vetrano. All 4 guys are gone. Why? Because Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin, Shesterkin, Fox, and Trouba take up 60% of the Rangers' payroll. 60%. So you can't afford to keep Kopp, Vetrano, and Mott, and I'm missing somebody. Whatever the case, you can't afford to keep all these guys. Oh, Ryan Strome. You can't afford to keep all 4 of those guys when these other guys are taking up 60% of the payroll. So we let them go. If anybody cared to know, Kopp went to the Red Wings, Vetrano and Strome are on the Ducks now, and Tyler Mott went to the Ottawa Senators, just in case you wanted to know. Anyway, moving along. The Rangers now bringing Vincent Trocheck from the Carolina Hurricanes. He's going to be our starting center on the second line. He has a 7-year deal that a lot of Ranger fans are flipping out over. How can you give this guy 7 years? He's going to be in his late 30s by the time that thing's over. Well, it's not for the years 5, 6, and 7. It's not. The Rangers are signing Trocheck focusing on the first 2 years of his contract. Why? Because we're ready to win now. This team's ready to win right now. We got the right youth with the right veterans. What does that mean? Our youth is who? Hedl, Lafreniere, Kakko, Keandre Miller, Adam Fox, Trouba, Shesterkin, these guys, man. These guys is what's going to keep this team moving forward. And by the way, just so that you know, Jacob Trouba is now the captain of the New York Rangers, not Chris Kreider. I don't know why Kreider's not the captain. He should be the captain. They haven't had a captain, by the way, since 2018. The last captain they had was Ryan McDonough. When he got shipped off to the Tampa Bay Lightning, they've had a bunch of assistant captains since then. I feel like Chris Kreider should have been the obvious choice for captain. Maybe he didn't want it. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know. I'm saying maybe he didn't want it. Why would he not be the captain? So they made Jacob Trouba the captain. The Trouba train. The Trouba train. Many guys take a ride on the Trouba train last playoffs. Many took a ride, including Sidney Crosby, who got blasted and knocked out of that series. And people say, well, that's why the Rangers won that series. No, it's not. That's part of the game. Getting checked and hit and knocked out of the game, that's part of the game. So Crosby did start in the game. We knocked him out of the game. Max Domi went on the Trouba train ride. Alex Killorn from the Lightning also went on the Trouba train, man. Watch out for that. Then we have the right veterans in place with Panarin and Zibanejad and Kreider. These guys are the right veterans that are still in the middle of their primes, that they're all ready to win right now. We also brought in Yaroslav Halak, who's going to be our new backup goalie to Shesterkin. Georgiev moved on, which he should have. He should have. He wasn't never going to start over Igor, but the kid is young. The guy is a great goalie, and he's going to be a great goalie for now the Colorado Avalanche, man. This kid deserves to start. He's also in his mid-20s, mid-20s. So he also deserves to start. He's not going to start over Igor. There's no way. But going to Colorado, we got 3 draft picks back for him. So Halak bringing in his veteran status, and he's an old-time veteran. He's played in 556 games. He has a 2.4 goals against average career and a 916 save percentage career. He's 37 years old right now. He's played on multiple teams. Figure he's probably going to play about 15 to 20 games this year to give Igor a break. But you got a great veteran backup that knows his role at this stage of his career. He is a backup, not a starter, not pushing to start over Shesterkin like Georgiev understandably did. Understandably did. Okay. He's moved on. Now we got Halak back there. And we picked up Louis Domingue, the guy I just mentioned from the Penguins. We picked up Louis Domingue as our 3rd string goalie. Last season, believe it or not, there was only two teams that played the traditional starter and backup goalies. That was the Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets. Every other team in the National Hockey League saw a minimum of 3 goalies. Every other team played at least started a 3rd goalie one time behind their traditional starter and backup. Every team besides the Flames and the Winnipeg Jets, those are the only 2 teams that played their traditional 1 and 2, and that's it. Everybody else. So all in all, the NHL saw over 100 different goalies this past season. Does that tell you that teams are searching for goalies for good goaltending? Thank the Lord that the Rangers have the best one in the game right now. The Vezina Trophy winner, Igor. 2.07 goals against average and a 935 save percentage. Kid killed it this year. The kid killed it this year. So the lines now, though, speaking of the kid line is probably going to be broken up. It's probably going to be broken up now. Let's see how they can do. Can they still continue to rise up and keep playing the way they were playing? The first line now with Kreider and Zibanejad, you may see Lafreniere, 2020 number 1 overall pick. Alex Lafreniere may be up on the first line with those 2 guys, unless they keep Kakko's the other guy that could be there. The second line, Trocheck's going to be taking over for Ryan Strome. Can Trocheck play as great with Panarin as Ryan Strome did? Can he play as great with him as he did? And who's going to be on his side? Who's going to be on his right side? Is it going to be Kakko? Is it going to be Lafreniere? Who's going to be over there? The third line, you got Philip Hedl. Can he continue his incredible playoff run? Philip Hedl, he's going to be our 3rd line center. Left and right side of him, who knows who's going to be there? It could be Barclay Goodrow. Could be Goodrow over there. Could be Sammy Blais. Remember Sammy Blais? He could be on that 3rd line. But they may want to use Goodrow for the 4th line center along with Ryan Reeves, Julien Gauthier, Dryden Hunt. That's probably going to be our 4th line of guys, man. Barclay Goodrow could be on that 3rd line as a wing. He might be playing 4th line center. We don't know yet. We don't know. But what we do know is hockey season is back, and the Rangers have something to look forward to. New York sports overall is looking freaking good right now, minus the Mets. Sorry, Mets. Can't believe that even. That's a whole nother video, the New York Mets and how they ended their season. I'm going to do something on that. But the Yankees right now ready to divisional playoffs against Cleveland. They're going to beat them. We know that. The Rangers are coming in a heavy favorite, a heavy Stanley Cup favorite to be there. The Jets, 3-2. The Giants are 4-1. The Knicks are coming back. They look like they got a good young squad following the same roadmap the Rangers have been doing. Rely on the youth, have the right veterans around. James Dolan owns the Rangers too, guys, and the Knicks. So maybe they're going along the same blueprint that the Rangers just used. But anyway, the Rangers are back this season. I'm calling they're making the final this year. They're the best team in the East. We got the youngest core, the best balance going on right now. There's no reason outside of major tragic injuries. There's no reason the Rangers shouldn't make that finals. No reason they shouldn't make that finals. Last year was a great learning how to play in the postseason. And man, did they learn. Knock out Penguins in 7. Knock out the Hurricanes in 7. Took Tampa 6 games. We faded away after the first 2 games, and we got what? We lost the next 4 in a row to who? The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Lightning. So that's nothing to hang your head about. We didn't lose to some bums. We didn't. So the Rangers, they exceeded expectations by a mile. Exceeded them. And we lost to the back-to-back champions. I'm okay with that. I wasn't at the time, but I'm okay with that when you really think about how great and unexpected a season that was. So here we come in here tomorrow night, October 11th, Rangers, Lightning, Madison Square Garden, New York City, opening up the hockey season. And at the same time as the Yankees and Indians playoff game. So I will see you all tomorrow night. I will be doing the Yankees live stream. I'll be doing the Yankees Indians live tomorrow night. I'll do a split screen with the Rangers on there as well. I was hoping the Yankees were going to be the earlier game. They're not. They're putting them both on at the same time, which is awful because I want to do that Ranger game too. But playoffs are always going to rule over an opening day to a season. Anyway, guys, if you're new in the basement, subscribe, bell notice, like button, drop some comments, and I will see you all in the next video. I am Johnny Basement, and I am out.